Alrighty, got my second league match of the season. Currently sitting at 4-2. Not a whole lot of matches have happened yet, so very much anyone's game this season. What do we have for the first kingdom? Thought I clicked on the kingdom view. There it is. Riverboat appears to go with Grave Robber in this kingdom. Not the strongest Riverboat target ever. Grave Robber, I think, is a card you want to be playing at the end of your turn, not the start of your turn. Does look like a pretty good kingdom, though, for Horn of Plenty. You got villages with Capital City and Madman occasionally, and then draw with Patrol or Journeyman or Map Maker or Gear. Lots of draw, some villages. Horn of Plenty, one of the best payload cards in the game. I think the goal is just to play a bunch of those. You can kill your estates with Hermit. Coppers could be trapped with Kintsugi. Yeah, there's plus buy, but mainly I think you just want gains with Horn of Plenty. Okay. So how to open. For sure, Hermit. The $4 turn is less clear. Double Hermit seems sensible. Hermit Gear seems fine. I think I like the idea of Hermit and Gear, or Hermit Silver or something. Something that lets you line up a hand that is a little bit better than just Hermit Estate 3 coppers. Because if you have 4 in hand with your Hermit, you could always play Hermit, buy Kintsugi, trash a copper, and then you would still get to turn the Hermit into a Madman on that turn. So I'm thinking something like Hermit Gear that gives you a chance of lining up Hermit 4 coppers. Let's see what Yuri decides. Yuri goes for double Hermit. That's reasonable. Not a bad opening with Hermit around. I'm going to try the Gear line. We'll see if it pans out. Happy to see Gear turn 3, which is what I wanted. So I want to have... how much do I want to have? I was going to say I want to have 4 money turn 4 so I can buy Kintsugi, trash a copper. But do I want that more than just hitting 5? That's not clear. Bottom 5 are Hermit, 2 coppers, 2 estates. I could just buy a 5, trash an estate with Hermit, not bother with Kintsugi this shuffle at least. To do the Kintsugi thing, I'd have to set aside 2. And probably buy a second Hermit. Set aside 2, buy Hermit here, trash a copper, trash an estate. No, I'm gonna get a second Hermit. Too close. I think I'm just gonna take a 5. Yuri had an okay shuffle, but not an ideal one. They did find a Hermit turn 3, but they didn't get the good draw of Hermit turn 3 and Hermit turn 4. Okay, Madman on top. No complaint there. Yuri finds the same. Next 5 should probably be Horn of Plenty. I didn't take it as my first 5 because I didn't have enough unique cards to expect it to be able to gain much. Now that I got Capital City, I think I should be fine. Ideally this turn, I find the Hermit, find the Gear, hit 5, set aside some stuff, trash an estate, pick up something. A Snake Witch, maybe. I don't know that Snake Witch is ever going to activate in this kingdom, but it's just a unique card to buff the Horn of Plenty. It doesn't get in the way. Hermit and Grave Robber normally can have something of a synergy. You can sometimes build a deck where you just play multiple Hermits every turn, never buy anything, and then convert the Hermits into Madmen on repeat, and then use Madmen as your draw, and then you can use Grave Robber for your payload in the action phase. I don't think you can do something like that here because Horn of Plenty gains things in the buy phase. Hermit used to only care about whether you bought cards, but now it cares about whether you gain things in the buy phase. And so Horn of Plenty would shut that down. And you can't not play with Horn in this kingdom. I could just take a second horn here for the chance that I draw it off of the gear. What are the odds of that? Looks like it's 50-50. I think that's worth it. Nope. Did not hit the good draw. I think I do want to buy a horn here, though. Which I don't think I'm playing this turn. This hand looks like a pretty good candidate for just play the Hermit and trash a copper and then get a Madman. That's probably correct. Okay, I think I'm ahead. Not totally sure about that. I got a horn and a capital city. Yuri's just now taken his first capital city. Might depend on this draw here. Happy to find the Madman on the top. Trash that. And I've got 5 uniques, which is all I need for the horn at the moment. Not sure what to gain here. Don't really need any more hermits right now. Riverboat doesn't do a whole heck of a lot for me. Don't need a silver to get to a higher number. I'm thinking I'll just take a second gear and set it aside. And then I'll take a second horn and a second capital city. And now the goal is basically scale up the number of horns I can play faster than Yuri can. I think I'm on track to do that. I love Tomb. Tomb's really fun. Not event, landmark. Probably the most fun of the landmarks. I don't think it matters much here, just because this kingdom is likely to be won like 40-0 or something by whoever goes off on the Horn of Plenty Megaturn first. And Tomb points aren't going to be the tiebreaker there in too many scenarios. This kingdom would be more interesting, I think, if you took out Horn of Plenty, replaced Riverboat with a bona fide Grave Robber, and then you had a deck that cared a little bit more about trashing stuff. Okay. I think I could afford to just set aside Hermit Capital City, for example, and spend my buy on a 4 cost. Or I could set aside Capital City Copper and buy a 3 cost. Yeah, I don't think I care that much about playing the Hermit right now. None of these cards, I mean, I wouldn't be mad to have another Snake Witch, but I don't need it that much. Interesting. Yuri has 2 Madmen. He just played 1. He's got 1 left. I think he's just going to struggle to get enough horns in enough time. He's got this Riverboat, but it's not in play right now. So, like, next turn, for example, he would do something like trash a gear into a horn, and then use that horn to get another horn. If he could do that this turn, maybe. I think he's just a tad behind. This turn, I need to think about unique cards, because I'm probably going to want to have the ability to pop horns for provinces next turn if needed. I don't think I've got anywhere near 8 uniques at the moment. Okay. Discard pile has 4 coppers, I believe. I've set aside 2 coppers and trashed 1 copper. All coppers are accounted for. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I said nowhere near. I was somewhere near. 7 is near 8. So I don't think activating horns next turn should be too hard. I mean, conceivably I could play Hermit, gain a silver, play Map Maker, draw silver, copper, and pop them now if I wanted to. I don't want to, but I could do that. Yuri does have 3 horns, right? Yeah. It's enough to be something of a threat. What am I doing with this Hermit? I don't think there's anything I super want to draw with the map maker. Like, I play Hermit, gain a silver, but I don't benefit from drawing the silver here all too much. I think I'd rather use my buy to convert the Hermit to a animal fair. And then I've probably got enough money to buy one province on top of all the horn gains. And then my 8th unique will have to be something I gain here. Journeyman, I suppose. So now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, yeah, that checks out now. Take one more capital city. Failing to find a capital city in the starting hand could be pretty bad. And 2 more horns. So this turn, I think if all goes well, I can do 6 provinces, which should be close enough to winning. I don't think Yuri can do 6 provinces. Maybe 5? Probably only 4. Well, you got... He has 4 horns, right? I'm led to believe he has 4 horns. I don't think he even has 8 uniques. Okay, yeah, he can't do any number of provinces this turn. I think the gear Hermit opening worked out better. That being said, the best case scenario for Yuri is finding separate Hermits turn 3 and turn 4. And we're not seeing the ideal line for the double Hermit opening. But I think the gear Hermit opening has more scenarios where it goes well. Like, I'm guessing, for example, that Yuri's Hermits collided turn 3, and gear Hermit is fine if the terminals collide turn 3. You just play the gear and set aside the Hermit for the second turn. So I think I'm pretty happy with the gear Hermit opening with the power of hindsight. I could dud here, but I think it's unlikely given my hand. Okay. There's no coppers in those bottom 7 cards. So probably I just play the Journeyman and name nothing. And yeah, this is 7 provinces, which we'll be winning. If there were horns left in the pile, what I could do is play 2 horns, gain 2 horns, gain a province, trigger mapmaker, pick up those horns, and probably pile up like that. But I don't think there's anything worth doing with mapmaker gain and play once the horns are out. So just a bunch of provinces it is. Okay, Yuri's gonna play on. I thought 7 was enough to put it to bed, but Yuri's still kicking. There is theoretically a huge number of points to be gained via Tomb. Perhaps. I'll be interested to see if Yuri can come back here. I think this is enough of a points lead that it would take Yuri quite a while to come back. I still got the Animal Fair. I just need to connect that with 4 money to finish off the final province, which maybe takes me 2 turns, but I think I've got 2 turns with a over 40-point lead. I could be wrong. I was imagining, like, if I had gained a gold at any point this game, then I could just do province into province using Kintsugi to finish off the game. But I don't think there's a scenario where I could have reasonably gained gold. For example, if I had replaced the animal fair with the gold, I wouldn't have gotten that 7th province, because I would have had 1 less money. I don't understand why Yuri's converting his horns to duchies right now. Like, you gotta think from his perspective, you're planning on me dudding for at least 2 or 3 turns consistently, which could happen. My deck doesn't do a whole heck of a lot at the moment. But if that's the case, why not keep your horns around for gains and then pop them for duchies in the last turn? I guess he wants to pick them up with the Riverboat Grave Robber. Get him that way? I don't know. What card helps me most here? I have probably just another silver. This is funny. My Snake Witch could activate here. I don't know how likely that is. My bottom 9 have a Map Maker. I think it's silver. Is there a silver down there? I don't know if there's a silver down there or not. It's not super likely to activate. I think the most common cards are ones I've already got copies of, but there's a chance I managed to curse Yuri. So this turn, I'm really fortunate. Maybe I draw Capital City or something off the top. Otherwise, I think I probably just play the gear, set aside the Animal Fair, and then I'm probably hitting 8 next turn off of a Capital City discard plus 4 money, is my assumption. I think I'm getting 2 more turns. I was looking at Yuri's deck, and I noticed that his 1 Riverboat is in play this turn, which means he can't play it again next turn, or he can't play Grave Robber again next turn. He'll play the Riverboat, which will then play Grave Robber the following turn. I would think, again, I'm not exactly sure what Yuri's planning, but I think you gotta plan to have at least 2 more turns. In which case, I think you would be, again, conserving more of the horns, setting up riverboats or something. But this looks like he's cashing out and trying to win next turn. Can he do that? He is down 24 points. That still seems like a whole lot. There's only 12 points left in the province/duchy piles. Alas, I didn't get the Snake Witch activation. What to set aside here? I'm pretty sure I got Capital Cities down there. Right? I have a bunch of Capital Cities on my deck, and I only saw 1. Yeah, there's Capital Cities down there. I could set aside Animal Fair Copper, trash the Journeyman for 1 point by buying Animal Fair, or I could set aside Animal Fair Journeyman. I think either of those ought to be winning. I buy an estate in the latter scenario, both give me 1 point. Okay, let's see. Can you score the 26 points that he needs? I'm not seeing it. That's just 12 points right there. You're not trashing 14 things this turn, so I don't think you are. Oh, well sure, I'll take a Map Maker activation. We got ourselves a bit of a Lord of the Rings scenario on our hands, where we're already well past the climax, and the denouement is running on a little bit too long in this game. Let's put this to bed. Okay. I think realistically it was over when I pulled the trigger on 7 provinces. I don't begrudge Yuri trying with all the tomb points around. But I would think that if you're doing that, you gotta plan to build for like 3 more turns and just hope that I whiff long enough. And he cashed out kind of immediately on the next turn, trashing most of his horns.